In this video, I am going to share my absolutely brutal Deathwatch list with you. Welcome to the Dankest Dungeon. My name is Jason, and in this video, I'm going to go over a Deathwatch list that I think is pretty darn good. I was thinking about this list about a year ago when the new Deathwatch Codex was released, and I didn't have the models for it at the time, but I did a couple test games with proxy models, and boy, did it seem like a really oppressive list. All the games were complete blowouts. It wasn't even close. I actually went ahead and put this idea back up on the shelf. I didn't end up building the army because I just didn't feel good playing it. It wasn't fun. No one liked playing against it. But it's been a year since then, and I haven't seen anyone playing a similar list. So either I was wrong and the list actually isn't good, which I don't think is the case, but I could be wrong. It's happened before. But if it was as good as I thought, I think it's really about time that this totally cancerous list was brought out into the daylight for other people to enjoy as well. I'm going to go ahead and do a general overview of the entire list, and then I'll go into more detail of how the list actually functions. This is going to be a Deathwatch battalion using the new Kill Team Strike Force Army of Renown rules from the Warzone Octarius. This will let us choose an extra Space Marine chapter tactic each turn that our units can choose to use instead of Xenos Hunters, along with some other added bonuses. It also limits us to only taking characters, kill team troop units, and dedicated transports, but don't worry, we're totally cool with that. For HQs, we're running a Primaris Chaplain, upgraded to a Master of Sanctity as the Warlord. He'll be taking the Kill Team Strike Force Warlord trait, Xenos Bane, to have a 6-inch aura of letting our units use the Xenos Hunters chapter tactic and the extra Space Marine chapter tactic that we choose each turn at the same time. We'll also be dropping a CP into the Vigil Unmatched stratagem to give the Chaplain an additional Warlord trait of Paragon of their chapter, Adept of the Codex, for the Ultramarines 5-up CP farm ability. Lastly, he will be taking the Relic Vorkan Pattern Auspicator for a 6-inch aura of +1 to hit units with fly with shooting attacks. Our second HQ will be a Primaris Captain with the Master Crafted Power Sword, Heavy Bolt Pistol, and Relic Shield. We'll be paying a CP to give the Captain the Relic Dominus Aegis Shield for a 6-inch aura of a 5-up invulnerable save for all Deathwatch units. On to troops, we'll be taking one Fortis kill team with just the base 5 intercessors. They'll be taking the Dominatus for their kill team specialism for wound rerolls against elites. These guys are just really taking up extra points left over in the list and will be our dedicated backfield objective holders. Next up is the fun part. 4 Indomitor kill teams with 5 heavy intercessors and 5 eradicators in each squad. The intercessors are equipped with Hellstorm bolt rifles, and the eradicators are taking Melta rifles. For specialisms, 2 of these teams will be taking the Aquila, which lets you pick an extra battlefield role for Xenos Hunters, and the other 2 will take Malleus for wound rerolls against heavy support, Lord of War, and dedicated transport units. Rounding out the list will be a Primaris Apothecary, upgraded to a Chief Apothecary. We'll be dropping another CP on Hero of their chapter to give this guy the Selfless Healer Warlord trait. So now that you know what the list consists of, let's look at how it plays. So what we're trying to do here is stack an insane amount of buffs on our 4 Indomitor kill teams to make them absolutely impossible to deal with. The heavy intercessors in each squad provide a toughness 5, 15 wound buffer before the opponent can even hope to take out any of our 20, count them 20, eradicators. Not only that, but they are also receiving a 5-up invulnerable save from the Captain's Dominus Aegis, a 6-up Feel No Pain from the Chief Apothecary, and if they suffer any casualties, the Apothecary can heal 2 and bring back 1 from the dead every round. Oh yeah, and they also have OBSEC. Also, thanks to the Kill Team Strike Force Army of Renown rules and Xenos Bane Relic, you get to choose an extra chapter tactic for everyone around the Warlord with the Relic to benefit from on top of Xenos Hunters. Why not choose Raven Guard for Army-wide light cover round 1 for extra durability? Oh yeah, these guys are Primaris too, and transhuman physiology is still a thing. The 3 support characters will move forward safely behind this blob of 40 Gravis armored bodies, which should quickly be able to dominate the middle of the board. Between the 4 kill teams, your opponent is staring down 120 T5 wounds, with 5 up invulns, 6 up feel no pains, that regenerate every turn, and a possible 2 up base save. I can't imagine that is a good feeling. Despite this list being extremely survivable, shooting obscene amounts of projectiles downfield is where the list excels most. Did I mention that the list has 20 eradicators? Everyone knows how much damage these fellows can do even in small squads, but what if you had 20 of them, rerolling 1s to hit, rerolling 1s to wound, or often all wounds against their selected specialism battlefield rolls, and +1 to hit against anything that can fly, shooting 40 melt-a-shots across the table. Sounds kinda dirty to me. The Eradicators aren't alone in their blasting either. The heavy intercessors with Hellstorm bolt rifles can't be ignored. With 3 shots per model, that's potentially another 60 additional Strength 5, -1 AP bolter shots, rerolling 1s to hit and wound, spraying the battlefield if you're in the tactical doctrine, which you should be when it matters since you get to pick which doctrine you're in as Deathwatch. As you rotate through your additional chapter tactic choices each turn, Imperial Fist can provide an extra buff on the bolter shots here, with ignoring light cover and exploding 6s to hit. Another notable chapter to cycle into if you don't plan on moving that turn is Dark Angels, for army-wide +1 to hit with shooting and melee for units that remain stationary. The silliness does not end there. One of the new Army of Renown stratagems is called Specialism Extremis. It makes a kill team auto-wound against its selected specialism battlefield roll for a turn. You heard me right, auto-wounding with 15 bolter shots and 10 melta-shots. It's expensive at 3 CP, but when it's worth it, it's worth it. Even though none of the kill teams have any close combat weapons in this list, they aren't afraid of getting down and dirty with some fisticuffs. The Gravis Armor Marines have 3 Strength 4 attacks each on the charge, so that's 31 attacks per squad with the Sergeant's extra attack added in. They have no AP on their attacks natively, but if you time things right, you should be able to choose Assault Doctrine to get -1 AP. The bonus chapter tactics can be clutch here as well. A well-timed Flesh Tearers buff of +1 to wound in melee and extra AP on 6s to wound in melee, or a Space Wolves buff of +1 to hit in melee can take your punch to the next level. After getting stuck in combat, don't forget to choose Ultramarines for your bonus chapter tactic the following turn so you can still fall back and shoot. If this list has one weakness, it's mobility. Luckily, the Deathwatch have a few tricks up their sleeve to alleviate that vulnerability. First off, you can put 1 or 2 kill team squads into Deep Strike with the Teleportarium stratagem for 1 or 2 CP respectively. The Army of Renown has an additional teleport strat with Battlefield Teleportation for 1 CP, letting you pick up any one of your units during your movement phase and deep strike them down during your next movement phase. And remember, all of your heavy hitters have assault weapons, so they can still fire even after advancing with a -1 penalty. Or no penalty at all if you choose the bonus White Scars chapter tactic for that round. So that is the list. I think it is very strong, but what do you think? Am I hyping this up too much? Does it have some seriously bad matchups that I'm not thinking about? Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching and see you next week.